Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the sound system demo of the 2021 Genesis G80 and its 21-speaker Lexicon audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at speaker locations, audio inputs, audio settings, how the infotainment system works. We're going to go out on the road, listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Before we get started, let's hop out, take a look at the car. The Goldilocks Just Right luxury sedan from Genesis. If you don't want the big Luxo barge characteristics of the G90 or the little less expensive, sportier feel of the G70, you can get the sweet spot G80. Packing the 2.5 liter turbo in this trim, it does everything very well. If you want to see more on the G80, check the links in the description for our real-world highway fuel economy test, as well as our full review. We always do this test with lossless, uncompressed WAV audio files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to the factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. And if you don't care about any of this stuff, you want to get just to listening to music, click on forward. We've got chapters in the video, so you can go right on to when we get driving. Pretty good infotainment setup here in the G80. You do have a touch screen, very nice to have, but since it is pretty far away when you're driving, it's often easier to use this center rotary knob. Now, this is more of a dial than a knob, I should say, and it's not quite as easy to use as the older Genesis knobs, and that's because you can't use the same fingers you're using to move this as you can to click. So a larger knob, as you see on many vehicles, you can twist and then push, all with one same configuration. This one you have to use one finger to turn, another finger to press the center button. I know that sounds minor, but it's a little bit more work you have to do while driving, and everything you need to do while driving matters. Let's get up here to audio settings, menu, down, sound settings. First thing I'm going to do is actually turn off the beep, because I reset everything here. Whoops. And I want to turn the beep all the way down. There we go. So, for real settings, you have your standard front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance. Right here, you can move the sound all around. You have a treble, mid-range, and bass. Let's go through those now. On top of that, you also have this premium sound option. This changes how much 3D effect is in the sound. So reference keeps the sound natural and pure. Here's how it was recorded, much more forward facing. Audience is kind of a medium setting, wraps the sound around you partway. Then on stage, gives you the most artificial 3D sound effect. I find myself usually sticking to reference. The audio sounds the most pure in quality, but audience is pretty cool for certain songs as well. I never really use on stage. It sounds too hollow. Other than that, a few random settings like active sound design. That is how much fake engine noise comes through. I like that you can adjust that. And then radio noise control kind of reduces. It's like an active noise cancellation that's set to minimum by default, so we'll stick with that. Go up here, choose that song. For audio controls, you have a nice volume roller right here. Feels really good, metal. You can go up and down with your fingers, and you also have a volume roller on the steering wheel. I like rollers on the steering wheel because it's very quick. You can make quick, fast adjustments with volume. For track selection, you can either use the touchscreen, the rotary dial if you're on that. You can use, oh, there's actually no physical track selection buttons in here. Oh no, there is, right here. This tuner scroller right next to the volume. and then you can use this up and down toggle on the wheel. For audio inputs in the G80, you have your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio in the radio section. And then in the media section, you've got Bluetooth, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay support, USB-A, and that is it. So what does it mean you're missing? Well, you don't have a disc player, you don't have a 3.5mm auxiliary input jack, and you also don't have a USB-C port. That one's a little surprising considering this vehicle was recently redone. You'd think they would have slapped a USB-A or a USB-C in there somewhere. Not the end of the world though. Speaker locations. This is a 21 speaker Lexicon system, 1500 maximum watts. So starting down here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's actually 18 and 19 under the seats. And then 20, 21 speakers back there in the deck lid. Let's do a little listening from the rear seat while we're back here. Sounds quite good. I'd be perfectly happy listening to music in the back of the G80. No audio controls though. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay demonstrations. We'll start with Android Auto first. We do have to take our USB out. It's a little disappointing that there's only one data USB-A port in the G80. One prompt on the phone, and then it pops up right here. The screen is so wide that you get widescreen Android Auto and a little split screen function from Genesis. So you can reach up here and touch things, go to YouTube Music, etc. You can also use the rotary dial for getting through there. You can see when you're on maps, this would show if I had music playing, what music was playing over there, and then you can still cycle through your Genesis screens on the far right. So it's kind of neat that you can have both the Genesis map and audio, that sort of thing over there. Apple CarPlay. You have to click through a few OK screens. And then right there, you've got it. Widescreen Apple CarPlay, still with the Genesis split screen. Maps not loading because we don't have a data connection on the iPhone, but everything works very well. Loads up. Easy to use and looks good. All right, let's get on the road. I also want to mention for people who use USB in their cars, USB sticks, it's fairly easy to navigate around all your menus. I'm going to click on list and it shows you all files, and you can go up through either folders or songs, albums, artists, etc. right from there. Right off the bat with this ChillShop song, you can already see, or rather hear, one of the surprising characteristics that I picked up on the G80 Lexicon system. Very boosted bass. Most systems, when they're set to their factory defaults, don't bring through bass this strong. I'm not saying it necessarily sounds great. It's not the crispest or strongest bass that I've heard, but it's coming through, and you also get a lot of the high ends as well. Everything seems a little artificially boosted. various speeds. Turn the music down here, let you get an idea for how the G80 sounds at 70. Very quiet, refined ride in the G80. It's a great highway cruiser, no big surprises there. The boosted aspects of the G80's sound system create an enjoyable listening experience, if not exactly pure to the song's original intent. I understand why they did it. Everything sounds better, especially at medium to low listening levels. You turn it on, you're like, ooh, wow, this sounds good. It's pretty much the equivalent of going into your sound settings and turning the bass up, turning the treble up, turning the mid-range up a little bit. It's kind of like it just did that already with its factory settings. So if you're looking for a pure, unmolested audio experience for your tracks, you're not gonna like this system quite so much. You might need to actually dial down some of the individual sound settings to get more of a pure experience. But if you just want a powerful, impressive music experience for all sorts of different songs, radio, pop, classical, what have you, it's pretty darn good. For this next one, we'll turn the bass all the way up. This is one of my small complaints I'll point out right now. Technically, to go up to the top screen there, you click this up button, and then you're scrolling around on the top. The contrast, the colors they use, it's like a dark brown highlight. It's very hard to see, so you don't exactly know when your rotary cursor is up on the top menu or when it's down on the center menu here. Small complaint, but you gotta nitpick some of these things. You can't even really see what icon it's on. Go all the way down here, sound settings, sound tune, bass. Most impressive bass I've heard in terms of a power standpoint. It's not going to rattle the windows on your neighbor's house, but actual quality listening, it sounds really good. They're probably some of the best deck lid mounted woofers I've heard in a car. So really impressive. And we do have a new track for our sound system demo, submitted by one of our users. We decided to throw it into the mix because you all seemed to like it the first time we used it. We'll leave the bass maxed for the start of it, and then we'll turn the bass down. thoughts on the 21 speaker Lexicon audio system in the G80. Just like the rest of the G80, it's very good. Wouldn't put it quite as high up as the best systems on the market, but it's getting a solid 9 from me. It would be nice if the audio quality weren't quite as boosted, if it were a little more pure, but like I said, I think a lot of people are going to appreciate having a little bit more of an artificial sound that sounds more exciting. It's kind of the difference between having a photograph be very neutral colors, very true to life, versus having something with the saturation boosted up so that everything pops and looks a little more fun. This system makes everything pop a little bit, and some people will appreciate that, some people won't. From a subjective standpoint, for $60,000, you can get it a little bit cheaper with other trims. Again, I think this is about an 8.5 to a 9. It would be nice to see USB-C in here as well, but at the end of the day, people can bring adapters. USB-A will be fine for many years to come. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the G80, check the links in our descriptions for our other videos, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.